One of the hands down best things that I have heard recently is, my friends, you have time. You have so much time. I don't care whether you're a 13-year-old watching, whether you're a 33-year-old, whether you're a 43-year-old. My friends, we have these societal time stamps that we have to meet, right? When someone says, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up, right? That question you could get asked anytime from when you're 7 years old to you're 20, right? To when you're in college or when you're in university. And slowly that shifts, right? Because there's a point where you ask, hey, at what point should you have your life figured out? And people will give you different numbers. Oh, by 18, by 25, well, at least, man, by 28. Okay, what time should you be married by? Do you have to be married by 28? Have to. I mean, you have to be married by 28. Have to have your first kid at least by 30. At least by 30. Right? And you set up these standards. You're like, okay, understood. And then they're like, and you have to have a house at least by this time. You have to be moved out and do this and do that. But then, my friends, certain things will happen that will change your schedule around. One of them is called inflation. Now, if you're living in a place like an LA, like a Vancouver, like a Toronto, or in a situation where, the housing market is going up, it might not be realistic to move out of the place at 18. If someone comes to you and is like, hey, do you want to move out at 18? You'd be like, yeah, I'd love to. But I say, okay, do you have the money to move out? No. Does that mean you should still move out at 18 just because it's the quote unquote right thing to do? Let's talk about that. Who says it's the right thing to do? Is that because that's what everybody used to do, move out at 18, so now you have to as well? Why do you have to be married before you're 30? Why is that? And then now you're sitting there going, well, Daniel, you don't have to, but it just looks nice. Like what are people gonna say? Who cares what people say? Now, that's a lot easier said than done, because everyone cares a little. I care a lot. But what I also realize is, and please, my friends, this isn't me going like, oh, Daniel has the answers, but this is really me just going like, hey, listen, I've really come to peace with this fact that people are always gonna talk. Always. If I never get married, the talk, whether it's my own friends or my own family, what would be, Daniel, why didn't you get married? Daniel, why didn't you get married? If I have a kid, like, Daniel, why didn't you get two? Why didn't you get two? If I have 4 kids, Daniel, why did you have 4? Why didn't you only have 3? There's always going to be talk. Daniel, why did you get this house? Why didn't you get that house? Why didn't you buy this? You know what I mean? And my friends, we're constantly in the state of time. Right? We don't have enough time, and then especially for people who are students, right? You're in this mindset of like, okay, I'm young. This should be the best time of my life right now. I gotta go do exams and whatnot. I want to go out and see my friends too. Hopefully, I gotta meet my significant other while I'm studying, so that'll work itself out. I have to have a career by the time I get out of like university, right? Because that's what I'm getting my degree for, right? To get a job. And my friends, I think that just adds so much more stress. And I'm just really here to tell you, we have time. I really think we do. The reason I think that is not just because, I woke up one day and realized, I have time. Is because, people are going to get sick of me bringing him up. But I was watching this video of Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk, influencer, social media, this and that, businessman, entrepreneur. And he has this idea of going like, hey man, I'm 44. Like, this was his own words. I've built 2 different companies. I've done this, I've done that, I have this much money, this is that, I have a wife, I have kids, and I haven't even started. And he really preaches this idea of like, guys, life is long. Life is extremely long. The idea of people being like, if this was in the 1930s, in the 1940s, you'd be like, all right, man, if you're getting to age 50, to age 60, time to hang up the gloves, it's going to be any day now. But with technological evolution and where we've gotten to, my friends, life can be very long. So if you're 40 years old, hey man, chances are, if you have your health together, you're gonna live till 80. That means you've only lived half your life, right? I'm 20. I'm a baby, man. I haven't even lived. If I lived my whole life over again, 20 years, 2 decades over, I'd be 40. And in my opinion, that's still young. 40 is young, man. Now, I think, there comes a point where people say, Daniel, what does that mean by young? Young and old, right? I think a mindset has a big part of it. I'm not saying we can disregard the biological factors, right? Your back hurting and just muscles not working the same and joints being in more pain than before. Not in that sense, but in the sense of a mindset, right? The moment you go, oh, well, I'm 40 now, I guess I can't go out for jogs anymore. You can't, or you choose not to. Oh, I guess I'm this age, I guess I can't do this anymore. You can't, or you choose not to because what do people think? You can't be the first one up to dance because you're 55? Why? Because you're acting like a 25-year-old? And is that bad? Who says? Them? Why do you care what they say? Right? So my friends, I think it gets back into this idea of at the end of the day, my friends, you're on your own schedule. You do things on your own time. Now, I'm sure, you might want to get married before you're 28 and you might want to move out of the house before you're 30. That's great. I'm rooting for you. But please, please, please do things when you are comfortable and when you are ready to do so. The last thing you want to do is move out when you don't have enough money just because, God forbid I live at home at the age of 22, even though I can't afford actually moving out. And every day that I am out, I'm going more and more in the dirt and I'm behind on my loans and X, Y, and Z. Do you know what I mean? If you can move out, man, if you want to move out, go for it, man. Do it on your own. But don't just do it because, I'm 22. It's the right thing to do. I should do it, even though I can't financially afford it, even though I'm going to have to work 3 jobs, right? Just what I mean by that, my friends, is when you're making that sort of a crucial decision, just really think what that word time means. When it says, it's time to move out. Society says, I should be out of the house by now. Should you? Great. Does that mean you have to? I don't believe so. Now, what's the word? The back end of this is you imagine me 50 years old still living at home. Now, granted, that might not be my desire, but what I'm saying is, when I say you have time, right? When people like Gary Vaynerchuk say you have time, it's this idea of, hey man, everybody has a different background. Everybody has a different upbringing, different financial state, different health state, different relationship states, right? And depending on that, that's going to influence on your everyday life, on what you go out and end up doing, right? That's going to influence your job opportunities. That's going to influence, if you want to move out, if you want to go to a bigger place, maybe you want to go to a smaller place, right? So these are all factors that are involved. And I think it's really, really important to think, you don't have to have your life figured out by the time you're 22. You don't have to be in that career because, man, not everybody is. Not everybody does have it figured out. But the problem that we're sitting with right now is everybody will be sitting at a table. And a lot of them, not everybody, because some people do. They're like, hey man, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. They're set. There's many, many people who in here, they're like, I don't know what I want to do. But they're like, I'm in college, I'm in university, I'm 24 years old. This is embarrassing. So they act like they do know. They act like they have life all figured out. And guess what? The person beside them who doesn't have life figured out either looks at them and goes, whoa, they've really got their blank together. I better have mine together too. So they start acting the same way. Next thing you know, my friend, it's all these people who are in the same bubble, but they actually can't reach out to each other because they're afraid of each other's judgments. Because rather than just coming out and saying, hey man, I don't have it figured out, and then bonding over saying, I don't have it figured out either, I can't afford rent, yeah, me neither, they're keeping it to themselves. And they smile through it. One thing, my friends, and I really want to emphasize this, that has dropped my stress so much, is just really looking at that word of time and when you have to do things and realizing, my friends, it is your own schedule. It sincerely is. You can take as long as you want. You can take as little as you want. But what's really important is, when someone says, 25 was the best year of my life, it's going to be the best year of your life too. Not necessarily. Dude, yeah, no kidding, 25. Yeah, that was the year for you got married. That was the year you finished this. That was the year this happened. I get that. Good on you, man. But again, depending on circumstances, depending on where we came from, depending on family and this and that, right? Everything's going to differ, right? So really, folks, you have time. Don't stress yourself. Don't kick yourself when you're down. Everything will work out in due time. I promise you that, my friends.